Are you ready to get your sports banter on? Brian Heminger, love child of Albert Einstein and Howard Cosell, with a body chiseled by Zeus himself. Brandon Sharples, a man who could beat Mike Tyson in a spelling bee. Together, they form the At Odds Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It took a while. We missed a week. We're sorry about that, but the At Odds Podcast is back in your life, and we're very happy to be here. We've got about 20, 30 seconds to go in the Cavs-Celtics Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. We're not going to wait an extra half hour to start our show. We're just rolling right through with this. So I'm your host, Brian Heminger, and my fabulous, super sexy, silky smooth co-host Brandon Sharples is with me tonight. So Brandon, how you doing right now?
Pretty good. This is your super handsome, super sexy co-host Brandon Sharples. Nothing too exciting other than, watching the awesome game of NBA basketball.
Was it that awesome for you?
I don't like NBA. I'm not going to lie. I don't give a shit until we get to the finals where I can watch Golden State wax the fuck out of the Cavs.
Well, that's the thing. So did you have anything interesting about tonight's game? I mean, Boston comes in, they got that swagger. They're the 1 seed. Cavs having to play away, and the Cavs just stomped the piss out of them pretty much from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. If they ended up beating them by 13, they just went final.
I think Boston's a pretend 1 seed anyway. I don't think they're very good. If you look at their roster, I have no idea how they won that many games. And it's kind of crazy. They just won the NBA lottery pick.
Yeah,
they're going to get the number
hilarious.
1 pick, and they're the number 1 seed. I don't know how the hell that happened.
That's from a trade they made like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
when they traded away Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the New Jersey Nets. New Jersey was hoping to make like a veteran-loaded team and make a run for the championship, and that fizzled super hard. Because Pierce and Garnett were basically done, and they gave up a future number 1 pick, and then the Nets had the worst record last year, and that pick goes to Boston.
Yeah,
and Boston won the first pick. So I think Boston's going to be a threat down the line, but they don't look like much of a threat right now.
No, they may take a game from Cleveland, maybe. I don't know. Cleveland and Golden State are so head and shoulders above the rest of the NBA.
Yeah,
it's not even funny.
None of them have even lost yet.
No, I don't think that's ever happened. Has that ever happened?
No,
where
I
two
don't
teams
think so.
Swept to the finals?
All the way to the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened at all. No way. The Cavs right now are on a 12-game playoff win streak.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I remember the Lakers, when they had that little dynasty, I think they swept to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
With Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, I guarantee their opponents didn't, though.
Hell no.
So
no, that's never happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about this series? I think it's over already. This is where this is going to lead us into this topic here.
Yeah.
This is where the NBA is boring to me, is that more than any other sport, they go chalk a lot. Usually the best teams make it to at least the conference finals. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of suspense. And then
I think a big part of that is because in NBA, home court advantage means more than in any other sport. So like baseball, you can go into an opposing team's field and just beat the shit out of them, no problem. Like the only thing they get is, the last at bat. That's pretty much the only advantage they have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you score more runs on them, you're going to win. Same thing with football. I don't think, unless you're like in the end zone and the crowd's just going bananas and maybe you can't hear or something, it's not that big of a difference. But in the NBA, man, they're waving all that shit when you're shooting free throws. The crowd's just intense. Like you feel that energy. Like it's totally different. And so usually the best team is going to have the home court advantage, and then they're just going to win their home games. But I mean, obviously, I don't think the Celtics were the best team. So they got the home court advantage, and the Cavs are just like, ha, home court advantage, LOL.
Yeah, it's just tell me this doesn't lack suspense. Like you already know that Golden State's going to beat San Antonio, especially now that he's out of the game. Kawhi Leonard. And
I want to talk about that quick.
I was thinking about that.
Do you think that was dirty? Do you think that was
hell
bullshit?
no. Hell no. I don't know what the fuck people are getting off on this.
I think people are getting off on it because of something that happened with him last year. The same guy, Pachulia, the one that Leonard stepped on, he basically tackled Leonard in a game last year.
Yeah, and he grabbed his arm and ripped him down. Yeah.
No, so I think people are this guy just has it out for him, and he's a dirty player.
If you watch the play, he just jumped in the air and turned his body
Yeah, it's the classic Bruce Bowen. People always complained about that. I don't know if you ever heard about this with Bruce Bowen.
No,
the defensive, amazing defensive player, but people always complained that he was sticking his foot out when they were landing, trying to get him to land on his foot.
If you watch the play, he didn't stick his foot out or do anything. He just kind of jumped, turned around, and then that's it. I feel like he grazed. He barely grazed Leonard's body. Yeah. I thought it was complete horseshit.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked that bad. I didn't.
I'm not a big Popovich fan over the last couple of years. He's went from do I think he's an amazing coach? Hell yeah. There's no denying that.
You think he's getting too involved in things outside of the NBA?
Yeah, he's a little social justice warrior bitch now. And then he's talking about talk to David West. Well, he was see what he says. He played with Pachulia last year. He's just bitching all the time now. He's just a fucking idiot. I'm just tired of listening about him. I think he's a little bitch. He's probably a fucking. I think he was on the campaign trail for Hillary, wasn't he?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
I really think he was.
I know he was complaining about Trump recently.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
So, well, let's talk about something that I think you feel is very important. You think that there's no suspense in the NBA right now because of super teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Golden State Warriors set the NBA record for wins last season, and then they get Kevin Durant. LeBron comes to Cleveland and gets Kevin Love and makes the trio of Love, Irving, and LeBron. So, just like he had the trio in Miami of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. So, we've been having this just cavalcade of super teams in the East led by LeBron over the past 7 years, making it to the finals every year. And now it's looking like it's going to happen again. So I want to hear your thoughts on why you hate it, and I'm gonna provide a little bit of what do they call it? Devil's advocate. So I'm gonna be on the side of the super teams. So let's hear your take first.
Just quick about this LeBron super team. I don't think it hurts his legacy like people are trying to say when he went to Miami. No matter how many titles he wins in Miami, it's just gonna be all tainted because he went to a super team. I don't believe any of that. I still think it's an accomplishment. I think it's something that that still needs to be taken into consideration for his greatness. But as far as the league is concerned, all these super teams are ruining the league, in my opinion, because it's all top heavy. It takes away, and basically has taken away the meaning of the regular season as far as interest in all the games. They already play 82 games, and then you have all these stacked teams that are just going to sit up at the top, and you don't give a shit who's going to sneak into that 8 seed. You think about this. When you're talking about the college football playoff, you're always like, who's going to get that last spot? Or baseball, who's getting that last wild card spot? NFL, who's getting that last wild card spot? It's a shit ton of drama. In the NBA, nobody gives a fuck who's getting the 8 seed. If, as a Dallas Mavericks fan, I'm not like, man, I hope we can sneak into the 8 seed so we can lose to the fucking stacked team that's sitting at number 1 that we have no shot at, that everybody knows. Because the teams are so small and you have such a shallow pool of elite players, when you start stacking elite players on the same team, all these other franchises that are smaller market that can't really afford those huge contracts for a long term, they start to go by the wayside, and you start having all these teams like Golden State. And Golden State actually built their shit from the ground up. They just added Durant, so I'm not really going to include them, but they're just a stacked team now. You know what I mean? But like the Cavs, they built that team together. Miami Heat, they built that team, and the Lakers are trying to do the same thing, but they failed miserably. Brooklyn tried to do the same thing. They just failed at it, but they still spent money, and they tried to put super teams together.
Don't forget the Knicks.
And the Knicks too, yeah. It's just like Clay Travis, I was interested in what he had to say about how to change like the salary cap and everything for basketball, and to make the league a little bit more, I don't know, not so top heavy. Is you take the top 20 players, and basically whatever the owners think the top 20 players are, and they can max out whatever the hell they want to pay each of these players. So there's no like salary cap. So basically, he was saying that the first team, it'd almost be like a draft. So you'd almost like each team would draft for each player. Like, so if LeBron was at the top, obviously, the Cavs can pay him whatever the hell they want, and then the next team gets to choose whoever they want to pick, pay them whatever they want, and it goes all the way down through the entire league. And then, so each team basically has a superstar, and then you just build around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I could see that being good. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have two great players on a team. That's going to be inevitable when you draft players and they become good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's just that I want it to be a little more suspenseful. I want to know that 8 seed in the East has a shot to at least do something. Like, yeah, Golden State beat the Mavericks when they were an 8 seed back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what was it, like 8 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, it was a while.
That's so far in between. That like never happened. So I don't know if that's ever happened before that.
I don't think it had, and I don't think it's happened since.
Yeah, so it's like
the
it's
Nuggets
not,
might have done it.
Yeah, I just don't think that these super teams serve the league as a whole well, because they lack like suspense. I don't really feel like I care what's going on right now in the East. I care about the finals, because then you're going to have two great teams playing each other, and it's going to be exciting, and I will watch the finals. But right now I don't care if I watch the Cavs and the Celtics. I don't care if I watch Golden State beat up a Leonard-less San Antonio Spurs team. It just doesn't bother. I just don't like it. What's your take on it?
All right. Yeah, well, here's my side of the coin. Like, there's always going to be like the favorite and the underdog. Like, and the favorites are always, the powerhouses of whatever sport. Like, there's always that team that is the best, and people are either going to like bandwagon on the super popular team, or they come in on the other side, and there's a lot of hate. Like, that happens with the Warriors big time. Like, everybody either loves the Warriors or they fucking hate the Warriors.
I love the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. and I hate them. Like, I know that they're great at team, but they're just, I guess because they're always facing the Cavs in the finals, I hate them. But that's the dynamic. Like, you want that David and Goliath story sometimes, because if Goliath falls, then that makes it such a better story. Like, that huge upset, the huge underdog type of thing. Like, there's just that climb to try to get to that level. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, when you create these super teams, it takes you back, because like, who was the dominant team in basketball of the 60s? I mean, it was the Celtics. Like, just legendary. I mean, that team just ran train on everybody's assholes, right? And then what was the rivalry of that basically made basketball great again in the 80s?
Oh yeah, you're bringing Donald Trump into this.
Okay, but what was the basketball rivalry?
Lakers and Boston,
led by two super teams, basically, right?
Yeah, you got Kareem.
The Lakers
Wilt.
had freaking Kareem and Magic Johnson, and Boston, I mean, they were just loaded. Obviously, Larry Bird, but I mean, that team was insane too. And so, I mean,
that kind of proves my point.
I know,
kind of prove.
But isn't that what made people excited about basketball again, though? The fact that these two superstar teams were just battling at it every year. I think they faced each other like 5 times in the 80s. And that defined the 80s in basketball. And it made basketball come back, because of all, they were having a lot of problems with drug use and some other stuff and people getting in trouble. And then boom, Magic and Larry just going at it, and everybody loved basketball again.
I'm the biggest proponent for dynasties. I love dynasties.
I know.
It's not that I have a problem with dynasty.
I think super teams can help create those type of dynasties. I want to see Cavs versus Warriors in the finals for the next 2 more years at least.
No, I get it. My whole point is that you already know what's going to happen. What I like about dynasties,
don't
I
you
love
already
the Patriots.
know that the Patriots were going to make it to the Super Bowl?
No, because they haven't. Every year they haven't. Well, that's what I was just going to say. You got teams like the Yankees, and you have teams like the Patriots. Yeah, they won a couple Super Bowls in a row, but they've been knocked off in the playoffs, and they've been upset multiple times because there's a little bit more parity in those sports. So that makes it exciting for a fan because a lot of people hate the Patriots, so a lot of people love them. So you get that you still get that two-sided dynamic, but you get the David winning. So you get you get an underdog. When Peyton Manning knocked Tom Brady out of the playoffs when he won that last ring, that was an upset to me and to a lot of people. A lot of people favored New England to win the Super Bowl that year, and they lost. New England's lost a couple times. So I think that's they lost to the Colts with Manning. I mean, they don't always win, and that's where the parity comes in. And the same with the Yankees, And then, remember when the Yankees lost to Arizona? That was awesome.
Yeah.
What
I'm saying is, the Cavs and Warriors don't always win because one has to win.
I know, but it's like instead of having one dynasty, you just have 2 dynasties, and there's honest to God, there's no way that Golden State and Cavs were not going to meet this year. Everybody's like, the best chance was Washington Wizards. Dude, Cavs would have won in 6 maximum. I'm going to say more like 5. There, you know what I mean? There's no threat to this. So to me, it's just you might as well just fucking make the damn NBA Finals in April. You know what I mean? Not even make it back in December. Yeah, save me some time. The only thing I like about a long NBA season is I get to play fucking DraftKings and try and win $100K for $8. Other than that, I don't like NBA. There's not enough parity for me. But I get what you're saying. It is what defined the NBA back in the day was the Celtics and the Lakers rivalry, and then you brought in the Bad Boys and the Pistons, and they're a little bit of a dynasty for a while. Even the Cavs, they had that attitude, and they didn't win anything, but they're
Cavs and Bulls had a great rivalry, even though the Bulls won every time.
Yeah, they had a great rivalry. That was a physical rivalry. People wanted to punch each other. And back to the Pistons, Lambeer and Isaiah Thomas and stuff like that. It's I get what you're saying, and your point makes sense. But as far as parity in the league, it's bad for the league.
Yeah, because that's the thing I want to bring up is, if the Celtics beat the Cavs, are you going to give us even half of as much of a shit if it's Celtics Warriors compared to Cavs Warriors?
Hell no.
See what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I said my very small point to this is I would like to know that
it does take the suspense out of the first few rounds.
Yeah, I'd like to see them earn that shit.
Well, they're earning it. They're playing hard. I mean, the Cavs didn't go out there and slack to crush the Celtics today. They played their asses off.
There's a clear
in the fourth quarter.
There's a clear disparity in talent that is just glaring at you in the face when you watch it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
nobody can guard LeBron right now in the East.
No, and Curry, both LeBron and Curry are peaking hardcore right now.
It helped that LeBron had 9 days of rest. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure. All the
freaking
minutes he
Celtics
plays.
and Warriors are just trading blow for blow, just down to the wire. Go to Game 7, and the Cavs have just been on vacation for a whole week.
Yeah,
you could tell. LeBron had so much gas in the tank tonight.
I just think that from a dynasty standpoint, I do love dynasties, and that's kind of one of the things I like about the Warriors is they built that shit from the ground up, and they kind of, they were the basement dweller for a little bit, and now they're a dynasty, man. I thought they were the best team last year. They should have won,
Well,
that's
the other thing is, like, to have these lopsided teams, you're going to give up a lot of picks to the other teams. Like freaking Philadelphia and Minnesota, they've been stacking.
Nope, that's my thing.
Picks.
Philly
so they're gonna
be good.
It's gonna mesh eventually, and these young guns are gonna, turn the corner. And the second LeBron starts to slow down a little bit, they're coming for the crown. So
I think Philly has a good shot. They've got
their time in the sun right now, but the super teams don't last. I mean, look what happened the second LeBron left Miami. I mean, that team was a dumpster fire this year. I mean, that was 3 years ago or removed now, but I mean, they were a shell of themselves the second he left. When it was just Wade and Bosh, and then this team this year it was just atrocious.
Well, they lost Wade too. They
lost Wade, and Bosh was out with like the heart condition. So, I mean, it can end real quick. I mean, remember how the freaking Cavs, LeBron leaves the Cavs and they get the first pick. I mean, I think that's almost a symbol of his greatness too, is the fact that like he can just prop up a team.
I think that, like, I was such a huge LeBron fan, and it's funny because like when you go on Facebook and you always have those on this day where it like takes you back to your previous posts and shit from years past. I got so many nut hugging LeBron on there. I loved LeBron. I defended him to the death, and then he came
until
back
he left, or
until he came. No, when he left for the Heat, I was so pro LeBron. It was at the point where I grew up a Mavericks fan, right? I love all these Texas teams. And when Mavericks beat LeBron in the finals, I kind of felt conflicted because I was such a huge LeBron fan. Yeah. And I like the Mavericks, don't get me wrong, like they're my team that I choose to root for. But when they won the title, it was nothing. I didn't get that celebratory feeling inside that I would if the Vikings won the Super Bowl or Florida Gators won the national championship in football, or if Rangers won the World Series. I'd fucking run around the street naked. You know what I mean? Like these are things that I love. But when the Dallas won, I was just kind of like, oh, that's awesome, but they beat my favorite player, and now all the Cavs fans get to talk shit about LeBron. So I was like, I was defending LeBron hardcore. It was when he came back to Cleveland that I totally went anti-LeBron for two reasons. One, he's turning into the social justice warrior, and you know how I feel about those motherfuckers. But two, the fan base of Cleveland pissed me off so goddamn bad. Remember the whole Cavs for Mavs thing when the Mavericks were beating up LeBron in the finals? And then there was like, they burned his jerseys, and they talked about shit.
The second he left, they were burning.
La bitch this and la bitch that. You know what I mean? Like all this la bum. And then the moment he comes back, man, it's just like back to kissing his ass. Cleveland against the world, LeBron against the world. Like, motherfucker, you were the world. Like, you were against him. And I had his back to the death. And then I couldn't even muster up being on the same side as you, motherfucker.
I have a point I want to make about LeBron that I think, like, justifies everybody rallying back to him is, like, when he left, he could have just stayed in Miami, and they could have won they could have went to the finals a couple more times. I mean, they still had Wade, they still had Bosh. Things were still looking great. I mean, he left when they had just gone to the finals again, And for me, at least, he came back in his prime. He could have waited to come back and had like one of those, glory days runs, like when he's like 36 or something, and they would have loved him. And it would have just been like, like Jim Thome coming back to the Indians the last year before he retired type of thing, But that's not what he did. He came back when he still had a great team in Miami that he could have won championships with, and he came back and he brought the Cavs to the finals, like, and he just gave everything in his physical prime to try to, and he won Cleveland a championship too. Like, that's where I gained a shit ton of respect for him.
Well, I get that. It's not that I have a problem with him coming back. I had a problem with the fan base and just the hypocrisy, and I just didn't want to deal with it.
I think it was more that he came back in his prime instead of waiting. That's, I think, where people, like, kind of forgave him. Like, because a lot of people, I think, were just like, all right, we'll just wait till LeBron's, like, dragging ass down the court, not even able to dunk anymore.
Even Dan Gilbert hated him. Was mad.
Oh, I know.
Bashing the shit. I'm like, you guys didn't.
They hashed it out,
like,
man. They hashed
in
it
my
out.
in my turn in my mind, I was thinking, like, these fucking guys, these fans and Gilbert, all these people, they don't even deserve LeBron. And then I just,
dude, I was the biggest LeBron hater when he left. I was so mad. I thought he betrayed everything.
Oh, man, everybody was.
I was so pissed.
Everybody was.
Well, I'll be the first to admit that I was and then number one on the LeBron hate train.
And then I got Bradley Edward, my nemesis. Fucking, he pushed a LeBron sucking off contest to a new whole level when he came back, and I was just like, I can't even be on the same side as this dude right now. My fucking nemesis. You know what I mean? That's like Batman and Joker fighting crime together. I was like, I gotta get on the other side of this shit. Like, I can't do this. Oh man. So
it just felt wrong.
Cool. I do think LeBron's on his way to being the greatest player of all time. I know you love the Bulls, you love Michael Jordan, so you're probably got a little bit conflicted on that as well. What do you think about that whole debate? I think that's a good thing to talk about right now.
Yeah, I got no problem talking about it. I think number of championships, like, can be distracting, because I mean, there's like role players from the Celtics in the '60s that won 7 championships. Is that guy better than Jordan because he won another title?
Horace Grant.
Yeah. How many did Horace Grant win? I know he won 3 with the Bulls. Did he win with more?
6. He won like 6 championships. He won 3 with the Lakers.
So is Horace Grant better than LeBron because he won 6 titles? No. I mean, Steve Kerr won like 5.
Yeah.
And he was basically a role player, 3-point shooter, pure 3-point shooter.
And I think that people, it's kind of like with Tom Brady's argument with Joe Montana. This kind of goes hand in hand, is why I'm bringing it up. People penalize Tom Brady for making it to the Super Bowl and not getting knocked out prior. So so Joe Montana went 4 for 4. Well, Brady, he lost 2 championships. He's 5 for 7, and they're like giving him shit and saying that Montana never lost a Super Bowl.
Making it 7 times is way better than making it 4, even if you didn't win it every time.
Exactly. That's my point. And like how can you? So what? Montana gets a pass for when he loses in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
that's not cool. Like when you make it, I mean, he only lost to one team. He lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants in dramatic fashion both times. Legitimately, without Manningham's miracle catch in the second game and Tyree's miracle catch in the first game, Brady can be 7 for 7. That is insane. You know what I mean? And he's a quarterback. He takes shit on his back. So, but my whole point to this is, just because LeBron made finals that he didn't win doesn't mean that he should be penalized. He still made the finals. It's tough to do 7 years in a row. And
he's made it 7 times in total too. That's disgusting.
Yeah, he made it all in a row.
He's about to be 8.
Yeah, about to be 8 in a row.
I don't think they were all in a row. The first one against the Spurs was not.
Yeah, but he made it 6. He's been to 6 straight finals. It would be 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 8 in a row, but 6. The first one. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
because he went with the.
That was one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my entire life. In 2007 when they made the finals.
Freaking willed them. Yeah, he willed them to the finals by himself.
Yeah, remember he beat the Pistons.
They were not good. Yeah, when they beat the Pistons, he scored like 20 or 25 of the team's final, like 26 points. I mean, it was disgusting.
He just went crazy, and he won. And the thing is, like, people forget that it's like they think Jordan's career started in the 90s. You know what I mean? They don't think.
Yeah,
forget about
Jordan
the
had
entire
to
80s.
struggle his ass off in the 80s. The
Yeah,
Celtics
when
were
Isaiah
beating up
Thomas
on him, and the Pistons were beating up on him.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
yeah,
struggled.
Jordan went 6 for 6 in the finals, but he didn't sweep any of the finals or anything. I mean, and he was amazing. So it's a struggle. You got to work your way up. I mean, LeBron's already made it 7 times. He's made it more times than Jordan did, and he's won it 3 times?
Yeah, 3 rings.
3 rings. So, I mean, yeah, he's got a losing record overall in the NBA Finals, but I mean, he got over the hump.
You got to take that into context.
Yeah.
Like,
and you got to think about the performances when they did win. I mean, last year, Jesus Christ, down 3-1 against a team that lost 8, 9 games the whole season, and they were able to win 3 in a row. That's unbelievable. So
yeah, no, I get.
Honestly,
I agree.
If LeBron, I don't think he's greater than Jordan yet, because I mean, Jordan even late in his career was winning the championships. So if LeBron can keep this streak going, give me another 2 seasons of making it to the finals. Doesn't have to be all in a row, but if he can make the finals 2 more times, I think he's got a really good case of being better than Jordan. Honestly,
I think he already has a case.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing that Jordan ever did was fucking bat 250 at AA baseball. Dude, he went from NBA to baseball for 2 years, and he batted 250 at AA. That's people don't realize this. I mean, I come from the minor leagues. There's 7 levels of baseball, okay? There's the Dominican League, then there's the Rookie League, then there's Low A, then there's Single A, then there's High A, then there's Double A, then there's Triple A, then there's the Major Leagues. He was at Double A. Those guys are fucking good.
Yeah.
And he batted 250 and hit some home runs. That was amazing. I think that might be his greatest accomplishment as an athlete, and I'm not joking.
You know why he went to the minors, don't you?
I think it was because of gambling, right?
Yeah, he had gambling issues.
To cover up a gambling thing, and they didn't want to.
Yeah,
that's the big rumor that never got official.
It's pretty goddamn factual. I encourage our listeners to really look into Michael Jordan's gambling issues that could have cost him some shit in the NBA, and he basically agreed to take a quote unquote retirement, go play baseball, and then he got to come back and win some more championships.
Yeah, and then he wins 3 more championships, which is still pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, no, Michael Jordan's an amazing player. I think
LeBron's the better athlete, and Jordan, I think, was the better competitor. He was the most competitive player I think that's ever existed, Jordan.
Yeah.
Everything had to be a contest with him, and he always had to win.
I do get sick of LeBron's bitching on the court sometimes. I know Jordan did it too, but LeBron's got the more whiny ass, approach to it. And I used to not care.
You were complaining about it when he was with Miami.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't love it.
LeBron.
I did say he looks like a dumb fuck, even when I was a big fan of him. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, give him that fucking foul. I want a stat sheet to be stuffed so I can talk shit on his behalf. Now I want it to not be stuffed so I can talk shit against him. I just like Curry, man. I'm a big Curry fan.
Yeah, I respect the shit out of Curry because he's not just a 3-point shooter. The people always try to talk down to him like that, but that dude can dribble like a motherfucker, and he just crosses people up and then hits these fadeaway J's right in people's faces.
Everybody's saying Kyrie's got the best handles, and it's I think Curry does.
No, Curry has the best handles. I think Kyrie is he's just a little bit less than Curry at everything, but Kyrie did bust that J right in Curry's face to win the championship too, though. So
I know that sucked, man. I was like, God damn it, take it away.
I got that game saved. I watch it every once in a while when porn doesn't do it for me.
Porn always does it for me. You know what? I switched from UJizz.com to Pornhub for the sole fact that UJizz.com kept freezing my phone up. I'm a big mobile porn user. So like
I heard Pornhub has an app.
I think they might. I don't know. I didn't use it, but now that you tell me, I might get one. But what bothered me is that it kept kept causing these weird things to happen in my browser. So I would literally have to clear my entire browser history and start over just to get that shit like fixed. So I got sick of doing it. It happened to me like 3 or 4 times. So I'm like, you know what? I think Pornhub has its shit unlocked because it's the #1 porn site in the world. So I was like, I'm going there. And the interface on UJIS is better. I like it better. But you know what? I'm not gonna let you fuck with my phone. So they need to fix that shit. So just a little quick tip for the listeners. If you want to watch porn, just go to Pornhub. Just do it.
Let me look this up quick.
Which one are you looking up?
I'm checking to see if they actually have an app. Yeah. Pornhub has an Android app. I'm sure you can't download it at the Google store, but if you go to the Pornhub site, like there's a thing you can click a button.
I have Apple products though, so they probably don't have one for me.
I don't know. Let me see. Pornhub app for
Apple.
iPhone. Yep.
Oh,
they got
nice.
It. So
wonder if you
gotta
can
check that shit out.
That's some straight hardcore shit though. I mean, that's like you can't even muster up the time to fucking go to the site. You have to click the app, and you're willingly having that on your interface.
Well, you don't. You can hide it like in just your app section, right? Or you can make it look like something else.
Yeah.
Have it look like YouTube or something. And then your grandma's like, oh, look, I checked this YouTube video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want my mom to look at my phone like, hey, what's this app? Because she can barely read as it is. You should see her. She needs glasses for everything, and she's just clicking on there, and there's some freaking Mexican big-ass chick getting railed on my phone. That would be terrible.
Did your parents ever find your porn growing up?
No. You know, I actually found my dad's porn when I was a kid. Actually, let me tell you this story.
All right, guys, I got one too, so go ahead.
This is great. This is a two-parter, I guess. So one time, my sister and my brother were watching me when I was a little kid, and I remember I was upstairs, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was little, I used to be scared to go upstairs by myself. You know, I lived in an old farmhouse at the time, and so I was scared, and I come downstairs, and I peek around the corner, and my brother and my sister got into my parents' porn, and there was like a maid sitting on top of a dude, like reverse cowgirling him, and they were watching porn, and I go, what are you guys doing? And they're like, Brandon, oh, nothing, it's not what it looks like, you know, it's nothing. Don't tell mom and dad. They're like begging me not to tell mom and dad. And it was like this old ass 80s porn with like this old, like, you know, the 80s hairstyle chick, like, you know, reverse cowgirling this dude. So once I found out where my parents hid the porn, my mom didn't like this shit. It was my dad. And it was like this old, like, plastic suitcase that my dad used to have all his drafting tools, because he used to be a drafter, like drafting, like, you know, plans for like cities and stuff. Yeah. And inside of this was like a bunch of porn tapes, and there was like, the names of these porn tapes are ridiculous. Like there was like an anal porn one, and then there's one that was like called Ginger on the Rocks. These are back in the 80s when it wasn't just like everybody needed it right then and there. I mean, this shit had like plot stories, you know what I mean? They had like a whole cast, fucking people like walking around, not even fucking. They're like just there for like, you know, cast appeal, like you know, have dialogue. It was ridiculous. Like there's like a Beach Babes one. Shit was ridiculous, man. And this is the porn. This is my go-to porn. Like once I hit high school, my parents got divorced, and I stole 2 of my dad's porn tapes. And they were VHS, dude. So I was watching.
That's what you wanted in the divorce. You wanted the porn.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, oh my god. So I remember my brother came home one day, and I was sitting on the couch. I was like trying to hide my pants. It was during the summer. My brother's supposed to be working, and I'm like in there by myself. I got my pants off, watching Ginger on the Rocks. Like, my brother and his friends come in. I'm like hiding under a blanket. I had my Minnesota Vikings blanket. I'm just like trying to hit pause, like fuck. You know, my brother catches me watching porn. That shit was too funny.
Good. No, I never got caught doing anything like that, but my dad had these old Penthouse magazines. So that was my introduction. And they were also hidden under the bed. And obviously I wanted to have somewhere else instead of just sneaking off into my mom's room and then coming out and, you know, going. I would hide them under the bottom towel in the bathroom, like, cabinet thing, that, like, our towel, this giant, like, cabinet that had a shit ton of towels in it. So I figured the bottom towel is the light, like, that one's been there for years. We never use it. We always just take, like, the top two, there's like 10 of them, and then just wash them, and then that gets replaced. So, and we ended up, sorry,
Major's working hard for this one?
No, Major sent me a message on Blizzard, so that distracted me. But so that would just be my secret refuge, was in the bathroom, the bottom, underneath all the towels. And one day, my mom...
Nobody wants this mildewy-ass fucking towel.
Yeah, and then one day my mom went into the bathroom and, like, she was, like, reorganizing stuff in there, and I just was like, oh, fuck. And she just, like, lifts up the towels, and she goes, uh-huh. I'm so fucking embarrassed.
Lord.
Like, she knew what had been going on in there.
Hey, my friend Rachel, I asked her if she had any porn stories, and she said no, but when she's babysitting, when she's like 14, she was looking for a pen and found the parents' porn and dildo stash.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, actually, my cousin, he showed me this. My uncle and my aunt were already divorced, and he moved into, like, this apartment, and I used to go with my cousin up there all the time. And underneath my uncle's bed, there was this fucking huge... I'm talking, this thing had been like 13 or 14 inches long, maybe Jesus longer, Christ. And it was flesh colored. It was a double-sided dildo. 2 sides. This thing was flinging around. My cousin used to grab it and, like, wing it around like he was fucking roping a goddamn steer. It was ridiculous. Oh my God. Dude, could you imagine, like, being back in the day when you had to, like, look at magazines all the time to get, you know, aroused? You know how boring that would be? Yeah, you had to, like, using your imagination, you know, you had to look at...
no, it wouldn't even just be the pictures. Sometimes it would be the letters to Penthouse for me. I could just read them.
Bro, you have an amazing imagination. I'd get frustrated having to read a fucking article to get off. That'd be horrible. Oh, yeah. Cause now you gotta read and jacket. It's like too many pauses, man. But I bet you that built up your stamina. Pause, go.
No, that didn't. No, building up the stamina has been the modern age. Because, like, you know, the further we go, the crazier shit it takes. You know, for some people, especially now when we're in the internet age. I mean, I haven't gone to full on, like, shitting in mouth or something, but like, my stamina's pretty good now. Like, just because regular vanilla stuff, you know, I can go a while.
Yeah, dude. No pee-pee porn for me. But
no.
Don't they say Donald Trump, like, he, like, got pissed on by a Russian hooker?
Something like that. That was in one of the memos that BuzzFeed got in big trouble for. Yeah, the dossier. I don't know if it was him getting pissed on. I think he paid to watch 2 hookers, like, eat each other out and piss on each other. At least that was in the report. That was what was in the thing.
To a dude like him, he was probably laughing his fucking ass off.
And then it was supposedly had to be in a bed that Obama had slept in.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like he specifically requested the suite that Obama had used. That was in the memo. I don't know if any of it was true. But.
Dude, think about that. He probably got no sexual gratification from it. He's probably just like, ha, I got two bitches that piss on each other.
No, the only thing that probably gets Donald off is saying his name.
Donald Trump. I'm the man.
That's just him for like 30 minutes straight.
Yeah. No. Dude, like, think about that. That's in like... That's like a political document. Like,
yeah.
that
was given like by a British M6 agent or something.
Oh my God, dude!
Like McCain gave that over to people that gave it to BuzzFeed. Like it was like opposition research. Like you know how you research your opponent, even in like the Republican primaries, they're researching each other just to get dirt. And I guess that was in the opposition research for like, you know, Kasich and those guys on Trump.
Could you imagine those old fucking bastards like John McCain? He's probably like, oh, what I got here? Like, fuck, we can bring them down with this piss porn. That's the way to do it. You know, back in the 50s, after you told somebody that this candidate had two chicks pissing on each other, I mean, that's enough to bring them down, you know what I mean? Everybody's wearing suits to the grocery store and back in the 50s. You know what I mean? You ever look at the old 50s movies? Everybody's wearing a suit. The entire goddamn world's wearing a suit.
Yeah. I don't even have a suit.
What the fuck happened to that?
I have like a sports jacket.
One. Hey, dude, remember when we were in 5th grade and we had the 5th grade graduation? I wore that gray suit.
I definitely didn't have suits when I was little. I wore fucking like sweatpants. Like
yeah, remember? Oh yeah, you fucking that spelling bee picture. You're wearing those goddamn MC Hammer pants.
Yeah, dude, those are some wild pants. I don't even know where those fucking came from.
Yeah, look at me in that same picture. In that same picture, remember I had like high water pants on.
I had no sense of style. Like I still don't have very good ones. But back then, man, I didn't know what was cool. I just basically, whatever I thought was cool was if I was wearing something my older cousin had worn because I thought he was cool.
Dude, that's like back in the day. See, we grew up in the era where like kids when they had their jeans have grass stains, you just cut them off and you wear cut off jean shorts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the fucking.
Oh yeah, nobody wears jean shorts anymore. They just make fun of them, call them jorts. Yeah. Dude, I had so many jean shorts.
The carpenter jean shorts.
Dude, I loved carpenter jean shorts back in the day. They were my fucking go-tos.
No, we wore carpenter jean shorts and we wore like those brown sandals with socks. Dude, I remember when we had that 8th grade trip. For our listeners, we had this 8th grade trip to Put-in-Bay, which is like, if you're from another state, it's an island that's like out by Put-in-Bay, or about by Port Clinton, which is like a big boating area in Ohio. It's out by Lake Erie. And we had this like field trip, and I remember we're from this hillbilly ass town. We graduated with 120 people, and there was another school, Maumee, which had like 600-700 kids graduating. And like we get on the Jet Express, and there's like all these chicks on there. You know, we're like in 8th grade, and half our class, male class, is wearing socks with sandals, and all the dudes and the chicks there, like of like the bigger school, and like you know we're around more fashion and Toledo area and stuff. They're like making fun of us. Like, why the fuck are you guys wearing socks with sandals? And I remember, like, I'm not even kidding. I took my ass into the bathroom when we got there. We got to Put-in-Bay. I took my fucking socks. Goddamn right. I threw them in the trash can. So I was like the one dude walking around with the brown sandals that didn't have socks on. And there's like this chick.
Fucking poser is what you are.
Yeah, I was a fucking poser. So So I go up to this chick. I never forget her name. Actually, I know her to this day. Her name's Heidi Geidner. And she was like the hot girl of the whole trip. Everybody was like in love with this chick. Dude, once I took those socks off, I don't know if it was like a fucking wave of confidence, but I'm like strutting up to talk to these chicks. like I just sprayed some cologne on and put on a fucking fresh pressed suit, you know what I mean? Like all I did was take my socks out of my goddamn sandals, but that was enough to give me confidence to hang out with this group of chicks the whole entire time. So it was just me, Aaron, Falcon, and another dude, and we were just walking around with the mommy girls until we left. We got in trouble because we were supposed to stick with your own chaperone, but we ended up going to that Frosty's pizza place. Yeah, we ended up going there, and I was sitting with like an entirely different high school, or like middle school. It was an interesting time, man. It's funny how you think about like the shit that happened to you when you were little and younger, and like how cool it was. Like,
dude, when I was in junior high, I'm not joking, I was by far the biggest dork in history. Like,
dude, you're cool as fuck. I mean, what are you talking about?
In junior high, no. Like, I would...
What do you mean, no? I grew up
so competitive with everything. Like, I would want to be first to class. I would, like, run down the hall to get to class first. Like, one time I fucking ran into... Who was the English teacher in, like, 7th or 8th grade? Like, she was, like, a mean old lady.
Oh, Ball-Sizer.
No, Ball-Sizer was home ec. There was an English teacher.
No, Ball-Sizer was our English teacher. She was
no. Ball-Sizer was the home economics. Like, she taught you how to knit and sew and
no,
and
you were
cook.
Talking about she's the old lady. She's kind of fat and she's going bald. Yeah, she was our English teacher.
It was not Mrs. Ball-Sizer, but there was another older lady that was like mean that taught English. I never had her because I was in like the.
You were in the smart kid class.
Yeah, the smart kids class. But one time I was racing to get to the computer lab, and I fucking bowled her ass over. Like, she fucking flew. I was running down the hall, and she just stepped out of her room, like, because the class is over, and I just, pow, and she just fell on her face, and I just kept running.
She's like that fucking tall, nimble kid.
Yeah, but I was, such a fucking dork. Like, and I was always wearing high waters. Like, I'm not joking. They stopped like mid ankle, my jeans.
No, you did. You had some high water ass pants all the goddamn time.
Yeah, it was because I was so tall and I didn't ever buy new ones.
You grew awkwardly when you were going through puberty.
Because I was always wearing my cousin's hand-me-downs, and at that point I was starting to get taller than my cousin. So he would hand me something down and it'd be fucking high. And I didn't care.
Pants for you, Brian.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the fucking, the whole globe, man. You had capris when you were 1997.
Yeah, they were almost capris. They were almost capris. It was bad. So just imagine me, this fucking lanky, and I had fucking braces on and glasses, sprinting down the hallway in high waters, running over teachers. That was me in junior high, man. That was me.
You remember? For our listeners, we had a Vietnam War vet principal.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kalo.
Mr. Kalo, and he'd always go through the hallway, and if we had like a bunch of people together, he'd always be like, "Hey, come on, guys, get to class. One grenade will get you all." Like, threatening our lives. Shit was ridiculous.
Dude, I got in trouble with Mr. Kalo one time. It was because I was in lunch, and you remember we used to have those tiny straws to drink the milk out of? Do you remember?
What the fuck are you talking about?
We used to have in lunch. We would get these tiny little straws.
Yeah, for sure.
And they were great for spitballs. And I remember shooting one over at Jason O'Neill's table because it was just the biggest dweeb.
Dude, you spit through a spitball at the handicap table. You're such an asshole.
And it went right in Jason O'Neill's mouth.
Oh my god, dude! I wish everybody knew who you were talking about because they would lose it.
And
Jason O'Neill.
And that Jamie dude, I forget his name, Jamie Hoffman, I think.
Yeah.
Like he saw it and he got mad, and like we kind of got into it, and then like and then he like told on me, and I had to go see Mr. Kalo about it. Dude, that guy was intimidating. Like he's sitting there, he's got that like grenade on his freaking table.
Dude, remember we used to have the? Okay, so we had the. All right, I don't know if anybody that listening ever had fucking like a talent show, like lip sync contest. Remember when we had that in junior high?
Those were the best. Those were amazing.
Yeah, so remember we were on like Backstreet Boys. But anyways, I don't want to get into that.
Girls, right? No, you were the. No, there was the
well,
Spice Girls or Spice Boys. Were you in that, or was that just Ricky Ohm and those guys?
No, I don't know what the hell the Spice Boys was. But anyways, like Joe Levy and Mike Rando wanted to lip sync Jay-Z. Can I get a what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Kayla listened to the lyrics.
I'm guessing he wasn't a fan.
He was not a fan. Caleb comes up, he sits him down, he slams this thing down. He's like, "Are you guys trying to insult me? You putting in this shit? This is ridiculous. I am not allowing this to happen." He's like all insulted by Jay-Z. Like, dude, that dude, Mr. Caleb, remember he got in trouble. He got in a fight out at Put-in-Bay, which is the island I was telling you guys about earlier.
Didn't he like throw somebody through a window or something?
Yeah, he got in a fight and threw a dude. Our principal threw a dude through a window at a bar.
Nobody wanted to mess with Mr. Caleb.
Fuck no, that dude would rip your throat out. That was a great time. Dude, you remember? I remember when somebody posted that picture of me, you, and Duso in the spelling bee. We were always in the spelling bee. And I remember you wrote in the comments, "Damn, Sharple, you like something like you used to be smart. What happened to you?" I was like, "Thanks, Dick." Life happened, brother. Life happened.
Yeah,
so
dude, I was just always so competitive about everything. I wanted to get the best grade. Like, I mean, I was like, do you remember Mr. Floro's class? And like,
I loved Mr. Floro. A lot of people didn't like him.
Yeah.
He had a big ass.
Well, I mean, his class was just super boring though, because he would like be behind you and he would just read out of the book.
I wouldn't know. I slept the whole fucking time.
Yeah, and you'd have to take notes. And he got mad at me because I wouldn't take notes. I would like do flip books in his class all day. And then he stopped getting mad at me because like I read the book like 3 times, cover to cover during his class, because I would just get so bored and I would just read through the book, because at least that was like semi-interesting to me, learning about American history. And then we got to like the New Deal. I mean, there was like fucking like. Yeah, remember with FDR, there was like fucking 50 programs that FDR set up, and we had a test on the New Deal, and you had to know like all the programs, all the abbreviations, what they did, and I was like the only person that aced it. And after that, he never fucked with me, like, because he knew. Like,
Jesus, I mean, you nerdy bastard.
Yeah. But no, like I don't know why, but like the second I got to my acceptance letter to Ohio State, I quit trying. Like I was number one in the class. I was number one in the class, and I ended up getting like a B in calculus, and I got a C+ in AP chemistry. And then Joe Levy passed me. And Joe Levy, and Joe Levy passed me for number one in the class. And then he gets to go. That always bothered me.
And he gets to brag about it now. He gets to go.
Yeah, and then he bragged about it on Carver Uncensored, and I'm like, and you know what? Okay, this is to Joe Levy. He's in there talking about, I was valedictorian and I didn't get to give the speech. You didn't get to give the speech because you got caught drinking at Sharple's house. All right, that is why.
At my house.
It had nothing to do with you being valedictorian. You had to miss half of his appearances in the school play. He had to miss half of his stuff in track, and he wasn't allowed to give the valedictorian speech. So, and he never even mentioned that.
Well, also Adam Smith came out of fucking left field with that pretty good speech.
And that was a good ass speech. That was a good speech. So
yeah, now hey, valedictorian night pushing gender politics. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
we're talking about mobile porn on our own TV, our radio show, and he's talking about 2 dicks. So you know, you never know. It is what it is. But you know what I didn't really read a whole lot of my textbooks back in the day. You know what the best part of having the textbook was at the beginning of the year? Making the cool ass book covers.
Dude, I never got book covers, and I would always.
I made them out of like trash bags, or I made them out of like. Dude, this is when you look back, like back in the day, and figure out how much of a buster you were. I was such a fucking buster, dude. Like I remember how Abercrombie was like the big thing. Everyone wanted to be Abercrombie douche. Well, I would take like my Abercrombie bags and I would like make my book covers out of that. And it would say like Abercrombie on my book cover. I'm like, I'm such a fuck boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe I did that shit, but it worked. I mean, girls dug that shit back in the day, and all I cared about was that.
Did you ever have Mrs. Pickett? In
she was
the chemistry teacher.
Chemistry teacher. Yeah, I had her. Sophomore, junior year. Yeah.
Okay. So I had her, and I had a class with Brandon Gerber, and she was always saying, "Get your book covers. If you don't get a book cover, I'm taking your book." And I kept not getting my book covered, and Gerber goes, "I dare you to not ever get your book covered." And I'm like, okay. So she kept saying it like for like a week straight. I'm going to take your book. And then finally she takes my book. And she goes, when you bring in a book cover, you can have your book back. And Gerber goes, I dare you to never get your book back the rest of the year.
What the fuck?
And I didn't. So what I would do is
is that how you failed AP chemistry?
No, this was regular chemistry. I got an A. We had a study hall before chemistry, and I would just borrow Gerber's book, and I would do all my homework right before class and then turn it in, or I would just read the whole chapter, and I would just know all my shit, and I just paid attention in class, and he was so mad at me, like that I didn't even have my book, and I was still doing so good.
Dude, the one and only time I ever got in trouble there in school was like I got caught cheating one time, and it was in Mr. Yoder's class, and it was do you know like we have the representatives Robert Ladd and Daryl Otfer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was on like the test, and I remember at the very top corner I wrote RL and DO just to kind of give me a reminder, and I like had my hand over the test, and when he was passing some shit out, he's like, "Move your hand." I was like, "Fuck." I moved my hand, and it was right there, and I was like, "Oh man." I fucked up. So anyways, I got caught cheating. But he let me take the test. He didn't take any points off, but after the class, when you're done, everybody gets to sit around, bullshit, and talk. Well, He says out loud, he's like, you guys can go ahead and sit around and talk. We're done for the day. Except for anybody that disappointed me today and who I have lost respect for. Basically called me out hardcore. So everybody's fucking around me talking. And usually I'm like the center of attention. And like I'm sitting in the corner fucking staring straight ahead, just so goddamn embarrassed. Everybody else is probably talking about me. It's like the most embarrassing moment. I'm like, oh, goddamn it.
I'll tell you embarrassing. I got like serious trouble cheating. All right. This happened freshman year in honors English at high school with Mr. Stucker.
Yeah.
You remember those? I don't know if you ever had to take those like accelerated reader tests in the library.
Yeah.
Like if you read a book and then you take a test on it, and it would have questions like that were different from between the book and the movie, so you had to read the book to get the questions. So I was fucking beast at those things. I read like every Stephen King book, and every Stephen King book had an accelerated reader. So all you had to do was read like one or two per quarter, and I would read like 15, and you would get bonus like extra credit for all the extra ones you took. So like it would get to the point where like I could get a 0 on everything and I'd still get 100% in the class. And Jason Majors was my buddy. Like me and him would fucking hang out every day, and he didn't like to read. And he read like he read like Spark Notes on like Moby Dick and took the test and failed it because it was like totally anti-Spark Notes test or whatever. And he was freaking out because he was gonna, get a super shitty grade on his accelerated reader part of the class, and he might get kicked out of honors English. So I said I'd take the test for him. So I went into the library and put in Jason's name, and Mrs. Avers, all she had to do was come over and type in her password, and then I was just going to take the test. But then she saw that it said to allow Jason to continue, and she went, wait a second, you're not Jason. Get out of here. And I thought that was the end of it. And then Mr. Stucker made me and Jason stay after class the next like 2 days later, and we both got a fucking 0 for the whole thing. And I'd taken like 15 tests at that point, and I got a fucking 0 for it because I was trying to help him out. And then fucking Mr. Laderack was our freshman basketball coach at the time. He made us run sprints until we threw up after practice. Like he was
Jason
super
didn't like
pissed.
to read. He's too busy playing World of Warcraft, pissing in jugs up in his attic.
Well, that was after he graduated. but you know what was hilarious? I ended up getting a C- in that quarter, and I took so much extra credit the next quarter because our GPA was calculated by your semester grade that I ended up getting an A for the semester because I must have done fucking like 30 tests the next quarter. And it made up for my 0. And that was like 25%.
Does that mean that you read all that shit?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I was
I
a
know
fucking
that,
bookworm, man. That was bad.
I was a fucking bookworm, man. Dude, I can't read a book right now. This is too long.
I can't read as well these days. Like I think the internet gave me like ADD or something. Like I can't.
That's what it is, bro. It's the internet.
I used to be able to sit down and I could read. Like I read like a whole 800-page Harry Potter book in like 5 hours when I was in like high school.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like all about all that shit. Like anything like Dean Koontz related, Stephen King, Harry Potter, like all that shit. I was just ate that shit up. And,
yeah, for sure.
But man, like I don't know, like something about once I got to college and spending so much time on the computer and like.
Dude, it's because you're fucking
like,
getting hammered. You're getting hammered, getting thrown in the paddy wagon. You just lost.
Yeah. Now I have like 20 tabs open on my internet browsers at once, and like I've got like just constant stimulation. Like I can't just sit down and focus on something. Like I have trouble just reading an article now.
Dude, I don't think our listeners realize how many tabs you probably have open right now. I bet you have 45 of them. That's ridiculous.
Because I close some like just to make sure that I don't have a lot of shit like
work with
that
me,
could
Hemmy.
fuck up the broadcast.
It's just a figure of speech.
Let's see.
45.
I'm gonna count them. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tabs in 3 windows. So that's not bad. That's actually pretty low by Hemi standards.
How many do you have? 15?
16.
That's not too bad. All right, homie. It's 12:07.
Yeah, it's getting late. I think we can bypass any rant if you're not particularly pissed off this week.
I'm not particularly pissed off this week. I'm content. I don't need to rant about anything.
I'm pissed off about that cultural appropriation thing, but I think we can save that for another time because that's always relevant.
Yeah,
and,
actually,
I can give out some gems.
About that. Yeah, go ahead, dude. I have some gems. If anybody that's on this has my Facebook, just go look at my Facebook. I posted a couple funny shit today. You know when you get those compilations where you get like things together, and it's like video after video, people getting fucked up. I don't know what it is, man, but I'm that dude that when I see people getting fucked up, it makes me laugh so hard. Like people getting tripped and shit, particularly if like it's a fat chick.
Yeah, like fat people falling is always good.
Fat people falling is the funniest shit on the planet. And then like this one was like this fucking fat chick was trying to do a round off, and she just fucking flew and nailed her knees. She landed on her knees, and all you hear is this loud pop. And it's like, I'm pretty sure this fucking girl's cartilage is no longer existing in her kneecaps. So, I know it shouldn't be funny, but it's goddamn funny. It's kind of like when that chick swung off the rope when she was trying to like swing into the pond and snapped off, and she nailed her knees. Like it said in the caption, it said she blew out her ACL, like just like landing in the water. I was like, that shit's gold. Like, I don't know. For me, that's too funny.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a fucking horrible person.
Let me get our track rolling at least for this.
Wow,
Winning. All right, we got 2 gems this week. 2 gems. One is a movie I just watched. It was super sick. It's called Get Out. If you haven't seen it, have you heard of it, Sharples?
Yeah, dude. I'm actually going to be buying that movie on Vudu here shortly so I can watch it.
All right. I'm not going to give away everything about it, but it was directed by Jordan Peele of the Key and Peele guys. and it's serious. Like, it's an actual, like, horror movie, and it's fucking great. Like, the suspense is good. The characters are realistic and likable. Like, and there's just this feeling of something is off in the situation, and you just want to explore and find out what is happening. Like, why is this shit, like, so weird? Why are these people acting this way? And the payoff is so good. Like, everything about this movie is really fucking good.
It got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I couldn't believe it. I thought people were like trolling. Like, I was like, how could a horror movie be that positively rated? And it is. It's that fucking good. Like, I was so impressed. So highly recommend Get Out. And then this next thing is super goofy, and it's totally different than anything else I've recommended. But it is a TV series called Gallivant. It's only 2 seasons long. It got canceled after the second season. It was on ABC, and it's fucking hilarious. It's like set in like the time of like King Arthur, and there's the knight Gallivant, and he's like the greatest hero in the land, and like he's the perfect warrior, and every episode is singing. And it's fucking like jokes after jokes after jokes, and like he goes from being the perfect hero to his girl leaves him for the villain, and he just fucking drinks himself into like being a slob, and then it's his comeback after like a year later after his girl like completely fucked him over, and it's hilarious. It really is. Like, the jokes are so good. Like, the songs are funny. Like, you would love it. Even you, Sharples. I'm not joking. It's like got
like
that
always
singing
like a
humor.
rock opera. Is it like always singing?
It's like half singing, half like dramatic. Like, but it's a super comedy. Like, and the jokes are fucking like good. It's not like super cheesy shit. So I was super pleased with it. I couldn't believe. Like, it kept getting recommended to me on Netflix and shit, and I was like, come on, this looks stupid. And then I watched it, and I thought it was hilarious. I showed a couple people, and they thought it was hilarious. I couldn't believe it got canceled. I mean, it was so I think go out there, watch the pilot. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But I think
what's this on?
It's on Netflix, I think, right now.
No, okay.
But it's called Gallivant. It's only 2 seasons long, like 9-10 episodes per season, and they're like 20-minute episodes. I mean, it's not something that's going to kill you. Yeah, but I'm serious. Like, it's hilarious.
You know what I watched last night?
What you
watch
last night?
Go ahead. Finish it up.
That's it. I'm done with it. So
last night I was just chilling, man, and I just finished the last couple episodes of Breaking Bad. Like, just rewatched them. Like, probably the last 3 episodes. It's just so goddamn good.
Yeah, to me, so Breaking Bad and The Wire are the 2 greatest television shows that have ever existed. I've watched a lot of shows.
You know what episode I watched? The episode that you were talking about when Hank gets killed. You said it was like, you think it's the greatest episode of all time?
Yeah, I do.
Everybody fucking watch that show. Yeah.
Ozymandias is the name of the episode. It's the greatest episode in the history of television, I think.
What's it called?
Ozymandias.
I didn't know the name of it. I just watched it. It was just like I stayed up even late watching it, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I just got my.
Was that your first time seeing it, or were you just refreshing?
No. I was just refreshing. I watched that. I watched the finale of Breaking Bad like 7 times.
Yeah,
it's just.
I've watched Ozymandias like 7 times.
Yeah,
like, I think it's even better than the finale.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those shows like where it just ended perfectly, and like I have no complaints. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like nothing was done shitty. Hey, when we end the show, can we rickroll again?
I want to get the rickroll rolling.
I know
the troll song's great, but yeah, I'm feeling a rickroll. I think we still.
I'm feeling a rickroll. Like, I'm in a good mood. I want to rickroll these motherfuckers.
Got it. And we can bust that shit for 5 minutes. Fuck anybody that
fuck
want to hear
YouTube. Quit trying to find our show and kick us off YouTube because we're playing fucking rickroll.
They're not trying to kick us off. They're just saying that we can't monetize the video because
they keep monitoring our episodes. YouTube is monitoring our episodes. What fucking assholes. I'm going to rickroll people. I don't care. It's Rick Astley. I'm going to get him on our show. Oh, that's all.
That would be
sing
sick.
that shit. I'm gonna get Rick Astley to sing. I never want to give you up. You know, I'm gonna have him sing that shit for our audience, and then we'll go viral.
There we go.
I'm gonna have him remix that shit.
All right. So I think that's gonna do it for tonight's show, right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm gonna go chill.
All right. I'll let you go chill. I'm heading off for Rock on the Range this weekend. I'm gonna get fucked up, and I'm gonna feel like complete ass in about 4 days because I sit in front of a computer all day, and I'm gonna be standing and rocking out for 3 straight days. My body is not ready for this.
Have you ever eaten Condado tacos?
No.
That taco joint that's down in Columbus?
Never heard of it.
Oh, man, it's amazing tacos. When you're down there, you're going down there, right? That's where you're going?
Yeah, I'll be down there from Thursday night until Sunday night.
Dude, I'll be down there Saturday. My little nephew Jordan's graduating high school. Isn't that crazy? And I'm going down there. And I'm probably gonna go downtown and get those tacos. Me and Lob's wife. Yeah. I was gonna go down there with Lob, but he's going out of town like a little bitch, going to Atlanta for work. So me and Cass are gonna go get some tacos. But dude, for real, like, I'm gonna take my mom and I'm gonna get her some of them damn tacos. It's like the best tacos I've ever had. They got like brisket and they got like chicken.
Dude, I'll add that to Hemm's Gems this week on Facebook.
Condado, yeah. If I'm down there, man. When I go down there, I'll get a hold of you and maybe you can meet me there.
I probably can't because the festival's like 11 in the morning until like midnight each day.
That's true.
So I'm probably just going to be down there.
I don't know if I want you after you chugging wine to come anywhere in public with me. I'll end up in the paddy wagon with your ass.
All right.
All right, let's rickroll these bitches.
All right, get rickrolled.